Good day. My name is Abdulkabir Akinlabi. As I promised, I'll be discussing function tonight. Function is like you calling certain things to operations. You understand? You don't need to just know what is behind it. You just call those functions. There are two types of functions. We have the user-defined functions and the PHP built-in function. We can call it built-in functions. Let me give you an example of the built-in function you have been using in array. You know when you say count, you just pass the count inside the you pass what you want to count. You understand? Maybe send message. You just call it a function. Let's call there is a function known as send message. So you pass the message by sweet. So now you see this one, you just call the function send message and you supply what you need for the function to work. You understand? You know I said we have built-in functions and we also have user-defined function. Let me give you example of what's it called, a user defined function. You know we've been using built-in function so that we won't waste much of our time. We'll be using function frequently when we start our main course, our portal development and software development. So we'll be using function. Let me give you example. You know we used to normally when you want to do area of a triangle, for example, or area of a rectangle. You know when we declare a variable known as length equals to length equals to 5, breadth breadth equals to variable breadth equals to probably 6. And you know area variable area equals to length times breadth times variable breadth. Now echo area. You know this time around, you see, or echo the area. Let me put a string there. The area of the triangle, or is it rectangle is concatenate it with the answer. Now you see this one, I'm not dealing with function here. I just want to tell you the advantage of function. You know normally this thing like this let me open the code. Localhost slash folder of training slash functions dot php. I'm waiting for it to trainings function. Maybe I did not start this, so please bear with me. I did not start the server, so that's why it's not working. Okay, it says the area of the rectangle is 30. So now look at, for example, that means that if I should pass this thing inside the a or don't let me pass it inside anything. If I want to do any area, that means I have to be changing this. Maybe let's say I want to change this one. I want to change the breadth of this one to 7. So I'll still need to come here and the area is now 56. But now let me show you how function will work. Function is for you to just say, okay, when you want to declare a function, user defined function, you say function. You call the name of the function, maybe get area of rectangle. You know, it's just a name. Get area of a rectangle. You pass the parameter in this place is known as argument that you'll be needing. You understand? Just say length. You can call it length. First argument, then second argument variable breadth. like this. So inside that function you now write maybe area, variable area equals to length times variable this. So you can then say return area. This one is not under most that you use return, but there is always a difference between when you return something in function. But don't mind that one, just follow this sample. You understand, all these ones are not there. So now look at this get area of rectangle is the name of a function. So anytime you just need the function, you just call it directly. So function will serve as a way of storing a code inside a particular a name of a function. Then when you just need the function, you just call it. Don't forget, when you call the function, you have to supply this one is known as argument, but when you are supplying the value, is known as parameters. So in this place now, anywhere I can just say get area, get area of triangle. So what you just need to do is supply 5 and supply 8. The meaning is that get area of triangle, the length is now of a length 5 and the breadth 8. So you don't need to be reusing, you'll be adding this thing times something again. You just use the function directly. So I think now you can maybe this one echo, you can echo it here, echo area. You understand? So this time around we have 40, because 5 times this is 40. So in fact, if you want to make it a standard, maybe probably is a triangle, you decide to say, okay, this time around is 1 divided by 2, or I think the area of triangle is the one that is triangle is something like this, divided by 2. I don't know if I'm right mathematically. So if you now have 5 this, I don't know if I'm right, 5 times this divided by half base times height. This one will serve as base. You can also do it yourself. Something that will be calculating, a function that will be calculating area of a triangle or area of a rectangle. When we start using our interface, our HTML, you will appreciate function very well, because let's assume that we are passing we want to have a function that any name we put inside the text box is going to be alerting, hello, welcome, this thing, your age is this. You understand? So let us call a function, for example, function greet. Let us call the name of the function greet person. You understand? So what do we need? We need the name of the person. You understand? So let us, the name of the person, you get. So we just say echo hello the person, hello name. So you don't need to be repeating the person's name every now and then. You just change the name from your text box and it will greet the person. So let's assume, I don't know if the time will permit, I will just pass all these things inside the what's it called, a text box. So but let me do something like this, hello name. You are using function. You understand? So anytime I just need anytime I need to use this function anywhere in my code, the advantage of function is that you don't need to be repeating all this code again. We'll be getting to a stage whereby we have different codes, so you don't need to be repeating them again. You just call this function and pass the person. This is an argument. You just pass the argument as a parameter. Let's assume I want to use this thing now. I'll just say greet person. Greet person. So it requires, who am I greeting? Sikiru. You understand? So you don't need to be repeating all these things again. All this hello, you are using this thing because you have already declared it inside your function. You can also use it to maybe probably to do admission, to do some kind of calculations. You understand? So let me do something like this. Greet person. Who am I greeting? You understand? I supply it as Sikiru. So you can say Adisa Sikiru, for example. So okay, unexpected Sikiru expressing this or this online 9. Okay, I don't know what's actually happening, but let me see. Greet person this. Okay, so you can see no need of you repeating anything. If you, let's assume this thing, this person, we are passing a value in a text box, we now change it to maybe Jimoh Wako. So you don't need to repeat. You can see hello Jimoh Wako is changing it based on the function here, based on the value that is supplied inside a function. Let's assume someone wants to calculate is what's it called, maybe should we call it I'm thinking of a program that I can write. Let's assume maybe print admission letter also. Print admission letter. You understand? So we have a function known as print admin letter. So who is printing the admission letter? Let's supply a variable name, then variable department. So no, we now write the code that okay, you say echo hello or dear name. So instead of us repeating, you can see all these things are variables, but they are in function way. Hello dear this, you have been admitted into the University of Ibadan to study I think departments. Now this is the function. So when you want to use the function, you now say print I don't know if I'm right, print admission letter for who? Abdul Kabir, and the department is AIS. So dear Abdul Kabir, you have been admitted into the University of Ibadan to study AIS. So you can see, you can this let me for the purpose of giving you an insight into what we will be facing in the future. We can decide to declare a function, or we can decide to do a function that okay, when we verify the user's information, the user should have true, or the login to a particular portal should be 1. But if the person is not logged in, the something should be 0. So immediately we run the function, it will allow the person to log in, or if the function is not successful, it will log the person out. Then another thing is that let's take for instance, we have a supermarket app that is recording what the person is buying. Are you getting it? We can decide to do a function that will check the person's percentage. What percentage are we giving this customer based on what he has bought from the supermarket. There are different advantages of function, but we have to do this for this our first month of training. We have to do all these preliminary studies so that we can be prepared. By the time I'm running a function, I'm using a built-in function, PHP using a built-in function inside our software development training. You will not be confused that what is this. So when you see a function now, you know how it is. All these ones are user defined function. We define a function, we pass the arguments to the function, that these are the things we are going to use inside the function. Name, department, then we now echo anything you want to use for the function. So all these ones we just apply these values to it, and it's going to this code is going to run for the function. So those are the things. Most of the time we'll be using user defined functions, and there are different what's it called there are different defined functions and built-in functions in PHP. Take for example, look at this mysql underscore connect. MySQL underscore connect is a built-in function that requires certain parameters, and those parameters are the server. We have used this before, but it was not actually explained. This is a function, MySQL underscore connect. It requires these parameters: localhost, that's the server, the user, the password, and the name of the database, without which it won't work. So the entire of this function, we saved it inside a variable known as db. You can declare any variable, you can name it anything. So we'll now be using this db in our code. So there are several functions like that you can use. If I should open any of this this thing, you see several built-in functions. If I have my PHP inside any of I have several codes here. Take for instance, look at this. Is set also is a function. Is set means that is it clicked, is it active, has it been sent. So this is set. So this is a function also. The parameters that it requires, that what is set, is it slapped. You understand? Let me call a function, for example. Is it slapped? Who am I slapping? Is it Ali? You have to supply who am I slapping. So if is set means that if you click this thing, that is the meaning. So you must have to, this is set is a function, so this thing we are passing into it is the parameter. We have several functions here. Look at mysql underscore query is a function that is going to run the query that you supply, and it requires the connection to the database and also the query you are supplying, which is this. You understand? So this is mysql underscore number of rows. This is another function. You have to be dealing with functions. This is another function that counts the number of rows in a database. So you'll be seeing all these functions very well. Look at this is what I use to send a mail. If the person registers, I use this to send a mail to the person who registers. So this is it. So you can see several functions. MySQL underscore query, I use it here also. Then mail, this is another function. We have mail function also. So several functions. You have to use functions when we start to develop our application. Let me use this opportunity to tell you that we'll be learning the software development with something practical, in the sense that if I'm using a particular template, you have to use the same template in order for you to follow. So this time around, it will be difficult for you not following us, because it has to be you have to be attending to individual persons. When you follow us, you will be able to catch up. When you have an issue, you quickly ask in the classroom that these are the issues I'm having, these are the errors I'm facing, so that we'll be able to solve it. So you have to prepare yourself. This time around, we'll be learning the work just like a mechanic is learning, not the mechanical engineering in the university. You'll be learning it as if you are learning mechanical work in the mechanic workshop. We'll be learning it as if you are learning tailoring. You understand? those of us who are Muslims, we'll be doing it as if someone is doing ileke. You understand? When someone is doing tafsir of one a verse in the Quran, you understand? Those are the ways we'll be explaining this. Each line of code will explain it, how it comes, how the something comes up. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? So we'll be using several methods to do all these things. So that's the reason why we need to prepare for it, and I pray that we understand. So thank you very much for listening. I remain Abdul.